Well, we're gonna like this one. So Endeavor has bought the UFC. Huge news.
Right. Massive news.
Hey, it's just like we're forced to follow the same league now.
Yeah.
So
And,
what's happened exactly?
So that's one of the big news, and the other big news is that we've changed into a wardrobe change as well. Yeah, so that's pretty good.
It's getting big. It's getting big.
But yeah, Endeavor buying WWE though. This is a shock.
Mm.
We'll talk
But
about.
it came from nowhere. Like did you hear any murmurings? Because I thought the WWE was a Saudi Arabia job.
Yeah. So in December, January is when all the I guess it was very public that they wanted to sell the company.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon was back to sell the company.
Yeah.
But now it has been sold, and this is right back off the heels of WrestleMania, one of the biggest events. And then the next morning, actually, there you have it. Ari Gold.
Ari Gold is back.
Ari Gold and Vince McMahon on CNBC saying, they're signing it right there live.
Damn, son.
Obviously there's more stuff legal.
So
stuff
what are the implications? What's exactly happening here?
So Endeavor has obviously purchased WWE, but they have plans to start another company underneath them. That's gonna have the UFC and the WWE as brands. So this new live sports and entertainment conglomerate, it's gonna have the UFC and WWE under them. Don't know what it's gonna be called, but it's supposed to be a $21 billion powerhouse. So that's crazy.
The brands make sense. WWE, UFC. Oh, look, let's talk about the fun stuff. Surely there's got to be crossover.
That's what everyone's thinking about.
McGregor,
he's already...
He wants in.
Did you see the tweet?
I did see the tweet. What I mean is it's a glove-in-hand fit, right? Like in terms of... I feel like the UFC has basically gone down... Like, especially with McGregor... Yeah, they've gone down that promotion track, and I don't watch enough WWE to know, but I think no one does the more narrative, story-based arcs better than the UFC. So they do it very well.
Crossovers probably we might see him. I could see Conor McGregor coming to WWE.
Well, they'll definitely be guests, right? Sure,
the guests and that type of cross promotion. Obviously, advertising and lots of stuff. There's a lot there. We could see some WWE wrestlers make convert to go to the UFC. We've seen it before with Brock Lesnar, and all that. But I can definitely see it the other way.
So hey, let's talk about Brock, because Brock left the UFC pretty sour. I think there are a lot of guys that still want to see a Brock and bang, and we were talking off mic, but. You reckon he doesn't have it into to take a punch in the face?
He retired from that a while ago. So
what is Brock doing now?
He's in the WWE. So he's basically living out.
He's got a barbecue business as well. I saw. He does. Actually. He does. Yeah, it's fucking random.
He likes his schedule. That's the main thing, right? Brock likes his schedule. He likes to get paid a lot.
Yeah.
And I think doing very little at a WWE and getting paid a lot to do it. He's very comfortable with that. UFC, there's a lot of training involved. There's
it's work. It's actual work. Yeah.
There's a lot involved to get ready to fight. I just don't think he's at this age. I don't think he'll probably do it. But I'm not one to doubt Brock Lesnar, man. He's
So Endeavor buys it, but they're still separate. Dana ain't managing both of them. Sure.
No. So the power structure is obviously, Ari Emanuel is at the top with Endeavor, and then in this new company, there's going to be Vince McMahon as executive chairman, which is
a lot
of reaction as well, man, on Twitter. Vince McMahon is executive chairman, and Dana White under Vince McMahon as the UFC president.
This should be fun.
And Nick Khan as the WWE president. So
yeah.
It's interesting that Vince McMahon is the executive chairman of this new company, and Dana White reports to Vince now in a way.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And we'll talk about also what has transpired since in the WWE. I'll talk about that as well right now.
Yeah. What's happened?
Obviously they're coming off the heels of WrestleMania, and on that CNBC report, you had Vince McMahon there with his Mexican mustache.
It's a good look.
It's a good
look. I want to see how great.
Yeah, and he was there. Basically, the gist of it was So Vince hasn't been involved in creative for the past 9 months. He's obviously
Yep.
the sexual assault allegations and all that sort of stuff. He was forced out, and then he came back to oversee the sell of the company. On CNBC, he was asked about whether he'd be involved in creative again, and it was a pretty half and half answer, saying, yeah, on the higher level he will be, but he won't be in the weeds. Now, obviously after WrestleMania, the next day there was Monday Night Raw, which is the weekly TV show for the WWE, and all the reports that are coming in is that he was there in the weeds, basically. And Vince is nearly 80 now, so I mean he's not as good as he used to be in running it. And he was in the weeds, and man, a lot of talent unhappy because he does a lot of revisions last minute, changes things last minute, a lot of things storyline wise that don't make sense, and a lot of talent saying that they would leave because he fired a lot of talent as well on his last round, and that talent was rehired back, and they were just not happy to see him there. And the reaction online is, man, you got hashtag fire Vince McMahon trending worldwide. So, I mean, Endeavor sees all this. But I don't know whether they care, because this is the important bit, right? So why WWE got sold to Endeavor was Ari Emanuel is pretty good friends with Vince McMahon for 20 years.
Yeah.
And when selling the company, I think Vince would rather sell it to the person he knows, rather
Of course, yeah.
rather than an unknown entity like Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. That power structure to me is going to be fascinating, because I know Dana's reporting too, but he's very opinionated, and he has his own way of running ship, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going to be talking about management for a while, in addition to the fighters, because I can see creative differences.
Yeah, I mean,
arising.
We're already seeing it now, because on the backstage sort of things of the WWE, Triple H, who you probably know of as a wrestler before.
Yeah.
He is now head of creative. He's been ever since Vince got fired.
Yeah.
Now, how does that power structure work between son-in-law and the father-in-law? Like, how does that work now? Like, because Vince was, for more reports, running things on Monday, and we've already seen Vince's daughter resign. Will the son-in-law resign as well because of this? But it does now. We've got a lot of fans bringing into question, when will Vince leave? Because the business went up when Vince left. The business actually, under Triple H, it actually went up. All the house shows, live gates, all the even from a storyline criticism perspective, it actually was very good. The creative was good, but now Vince is back, and he's not in tune with what I guess a lot of the fans want. It's a bit of a tricky situation. And with Ari Emanuel backing Vince and them being friends, who knows what could happen? I mean, it's a crazy world of wrestling. Now, the crazy world of combat sports, I guess, as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the whole conglomerate aspect really fascinates me, because Dana has always wanted to try his hand in boxing. Yeah. He's said that from time to time again. He's never had the resources. And imagine if you had wrestling, MMA, and boxing. It'd be game over. It'd be game over. And to me, the cross appeal of they're all athletes, right? Being able to market it and just having that central resource, like the UFC Performance Institute, as if they can't put wrestlers there. That's so much. It makes sense. Synergy-wise, from a business perspective, it makes sense. Las Vegas is the fight capital of the world. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what sort of... And if they get something like grappling, if they get like Flow Grappling or one of the big tournaments there, it's really powerful. To be honest, they've created something very formidable.
Yeah, and like what I see happening and what I've heard has happened when Endeavor bought UFC, actually, was there was a lot of layoffs, right?
Of course, yeah.
I'm expecting to see a lot more layoffs in WWE, right? Or maybe in the UFC, because Endeavor would want to leverage that production that WWE puts on and leverage it into that new company.
Or streamline it.
Right? Like the same production crew that runs a WrestleMania is probably going to be the same production crew that runs UFC 300, coming up later, which is bound to be a big one. And so, like, I mean, I could see a lot of people let off which is going to be unfortunate.
Yeah.
But we've also seen.
I will say Dana historically has not liked letting people go. But again, it's a different company.
Well, we've seen with UFC, with like even it was like France Ngannou.
Yeah.
He just sort of like they didn't really get him.
Yeah.
And that was an Endeavor thing apparently.
Well, yeah. But Francis Ngannou is a bit of an outline that I think he just got burnt so much by the UFC, and he took things in his own hands. But
that's the thing, right? Like, I reckon Dana before Endeavor would have really tried to get him. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're really trying to get someone, you have to go higher up to say, "Can I pay this person extra?"
Yep.
Endeavor probably was like, we don't really mind.
Yeah.
We don't really mind if he
So
goes.
Dana's a bit of a spiteful guy, but no, I like it. I think it's pretty big news when it got announced. I think it's interesting timing. Yeah, I don't think it aligns to anything specifically, but
No.
I think down the line.
Well, this aligns with what I said in January, right?
Yeah.
I was like 3 months. This is
Yeah.
getting sold. 3-4 months, and it's literally was 3-4 months.
That's it. They heard. They heard the podcast.
They heard us here.
And it happened to be the Dana slap episode.
Oh shit!
Just putting it together.
What else could this conglomerate buy? I mean, that's a
Slap league, bro.
The slap league.
It's already
I reckon I could see them maybe purchasing something in boxing as well.
Yeah, they got to stick to combat for sure. Boxing, grappling. I'm interested to see if they would buy one of these like smaller, like PFL's doing its thing on the side. Bare knuckle, I think the whole world of fight and fight promotion is really sort of interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what we have to see what this conglomerate becomes. Is it meant to be a home for combat sports and fighting and all that? Is that
It makes sense. They can't do Formula One. Like it has to be with
how big are Endeavor's ambitions? Do they want to go bigger than just fight? Do they want to be the sporting conglomerate of the world? Like live sports conglomerate, I reckon, is what they want to be. Live sports and entertainment, is what they're looking at. So man, like,
so good.
The only thing that I'm a bit worried about is before this, Endeavor was in pretty big debt. I mean, a lot of companies run in debt.
Yeah,
in this day and age, but I mean, it was pretty significant.
Sorry, Endeavor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were in debt. So and that debt mostly comes from buying the UFC at.
Yep.
What was it? 12 billion?
Whatever the price.
They bought it at 4 and now it's worth 12.
Yeah.
And like a lot of, I guess I was watching it at CNBC is that, and they even asked the question actually to Ari Emanuel was, did you overpay for WWE? Because
how much do you know the number?
So they were valued at I think it was 5 or 6, and Ari Emanuel paid 9.3 billion for that.
Yep.
And yeah, he was literally asked point blank, and he was just like, "No, we see this as an investment. This is the way." I
can't remember how much the UFC was bought, but
UFC was bought for 4 billion.
Yeah.
It was bought for 4. Now it's valued at 12.
How big are the social media numbers for WWE?
Massive.
They're big?
They're actually one of the top
client engagement, like
top
consumer
YouTube
engagement
channels, I think, in the world.
Yeah,
and they get millions upon millions of views, and they're pretty good at it. That's what I'm interested to see. Right, the WWE's marketing, the way that they, their content creation, all that sort of stuff, they're a powerhouse of media.
Yeah.
To see that combined with UFC, who is very good as well in what they do in terms of, the media side of it. But, I mean, to see them put it together into one, I mean, it can only be good, right?
I think so. Like the alignment works, the brand works, and like both of these companies are star-driven companies, and I think just being able to somehow share talent pool, even if it's like at the commentary level or like you
imagine a Joe Rogan commentating a WrestleMania. That would be amazing.
I mean, to be honest, there's an intersection of fan base there already. Anyway,
there is. There already is like a crossover appeal to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
WWE have pay-per-views, right?
Yeah, but they don't really do the pay-per-view model anymore. So they're like, they've got the whole streaming thing, where they've got a massive streaming deal with Peacock, which is NBC Universal's streaming service in America. So and they literally had the whole thing where you pay for Peacock, you get every basic what was called a pay-per-view.
Well, I'll be intrigued to see if like the UFC's business model, which has been fairly lucrative for them, although they've done it to ESPN and they've been able to do it very well permeates its way through, or vice versa. I think.
What I could see happening is when this new conglomerate is in place, I reckon they'll do a massive deal with a streaming partner for like, here you go, here's WWE and UFC in this one big product offering.
Yep.
You pay me fucking billions
Yeah,
for this.
No, it makes sense.
You pay me
makes
billions
sense.
for these rights. And man, there's a lot of, I could see a lot of the big streaming services going, yep, we'll pay for that.
Or they could make their own app and get a
They're
third.
they're worth 21 billion. They could actually make their own app.
That's easy. I mean, be their own distributor, right? If they're big enough, and
that is,
to be quite frank, it's distribution. It is distribution because, I mean, if you're in a country that has like Foxtel or the equivalent, and you've never heard of the UFC, it's always distribution versus, because they're big enough and have the resources enough to do their own stuff like that.
and the beauty of this partnership is that, you know, the UFC has a lot of ties to WWE.
Yeah.
So back in the day, you know, when the Ultimate Fighter was starting out, I just realized this recently. I heard the news about it. Was so with the Ultimate Fighter, it used to run after
That wasn't Spike TV or something like that.
Yes,
What?
Spike TV. So it used to run after Raw, when Raw was on Spike.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon, they went to Vince McMahon and said, "Is this okay? Can we do this?"
Yeah.
If he said no,
Yeah.
then the first season of Ultimate Fighter was not going to happen.
Wouldn't have happened. Yeah.
And it wouldn't have got that crossover audience that was still watching, and then they're like, "Oh, what's this?"
That was strategic for sure, right?
Yeah. But like they were like, "Hell yeah, just leave it," and then let it run. And then we're seeing what happened with Ultimate Fighter, how it
of
blew
course.
up
Took
and
off.
blew up the popularity of the UFC
So it
to
saved
another
him.
level.
It saved him.
It just
It saved him.
so there's ties there already, you know.
Yeah.
So that they've got a history together.
Look, we're missing out the main point of this whole conversation. Ariel Helwani, he loves he loves WWE, and now he won't be able to get into WWE as well. He's banned in the UFC, and now he's going to be banned.
Actually, that is an interesting, because Ariel has been all over WWE.
Oh, he loves it.
broadcast
He
lately.
actually loves it. So now he
we've
won't be able to
seen-
even get in there.
I wonder what's going to happen there, because Dana hates.
I'll tell you what's happening. He won't be able to
But
go
the
to
W-
those events.
What's the thing, right? Like, see, Ariel's been on WWE, but
Yeah.
with Vince now in an executive chair position over Dana, does that have some sort of play into it?
Let's just get Dana and Ariel in a room, in a ring.
Hash it out.
Just hash
In
it
a
out
ring.
in a ring. I mean, it can be WWE. No one's actually getting hurt here. Just scripted. We know who the heel's going to be. Helwani.
See, but
Helwani.
that would be gold.
It would be gold.
Wouldn't that be gold for WWE?
Fucking gold. Mate, there's just so many ways you can go.
Like,
here.
that would actually be gold. Like,
Helwani. All right, is already
yeah, that would
story
be
writes
gold.
its freaking self, man. It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
it. We're excited and we want to see what's next, man.
Yeah, I mean, the actual purchase is going to take, probably 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm guessing towards the end of the year, when we probably hear news about it sort of being finalized, and then maybe next year when we hear about this new company that they've sort of Endeavor's creating.
Yep. So good, man. So good.
Yeah.